my meal prep by labeling my freezer bags. If you'll look, this is the bag for the honey Dijon pork roast. Underneath the name I have any add-ons that need to be put in. Now this normally would be put in while I'm preparing it, but I did run out of Dijon mustard, so I just wanted to leave myself a note so I will remember to put that in as I'm making the meal. And then I also have the cooking instructions. This way I generally don't have to pull my cookbooks out at all. When I'm getting ready to cook the meals, I can just dump it into the crock pot and get ready to go. So I'm going to continue on and do all my freezer meal bags, and then I will catch up with you for the next step. I'm starting out today with my cooked meat. I need to do 4 packs of taco meat and 2 packs of meatballs. I have no Italian meat to make this month because I have a couple left in the freezer. So I'm going to divvy this up. I'm going to have the taco meat into 2 pans and then do the meatballs in the bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to chop up some onions using the food processor. And then add it to the ground meat. I also like to add some finely chopped carrots to my ground meat. This adds bulk as well as some nutrition to the meal. So I'm just going to divide this up as well. The other thing that I add to both the taco meat and the meatballs is minced garlic, which we buy in the big jar. So now I'm ready just to start cooking these like I would normal ground beef, just on medium-high, and I'm going to continue to stir these until they're cooked through. And meanwhile, I'm going to finish the meatballs. Find a good spot to set you. There you go. Hopefully you can see that okay. So to finish off the meatballs, I need to add the breadcrumbs. Usually I add all breadcrumbs, but today I'm going to try adding part oatmeal to see if that changes the taste too much. As I've said many times, I'm trying to reduce the gluten in our diet. So I'm going to just use some oatmeal as some of the binder. And then I'm going to add 4 eggs to the mixture, as well as some black pepper and salt. Now, if I were doing Italian meatballs, I would add Italian seasoning, but I'm not. I'm just using these for Swedish meatballs and barbecue meatballs this month, so I'm not going to add any crazy spices or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and add those and mix them up. So the meat is now cooked and drained. Now I'm going to add about 1.5 cans of diced tomatoes to each pan, as well as some ground cumin and some chili powder. And that will be it. Once that's mixed up, I'm just going to let that cool and we'll be ready to package it. I'm now moving on to my crock-pot freezer meals. All of these meals call for raw meat, so there's no cooking ahead, and most of them don't have a lot of chopped vegetables and things in them. I found that doing that was too tedious. It took like all day to do the meals, and I really kind of want to have a shorter amount of time to work on these this month. So I'm trying these recipes. I will link my source below. And I'm starting with honey Dijon pork roast and honey Dijon pork ribs. What I do, and this was an idea again from my source, that it's the same sauce and seasonings and 2 different kinds of meats. So it doesn't get boring during the month. Everything is kind of changed up, but it's a good way to save some time. Now, I don't usually measure completely exact when I do these. I sort of eyeball things. It's not like baking where you need to be very exact. So I'm just kind of estimating. So the first thing is a 1/4 cup of honey. So I'm going to put that in both bags. And now it does call for 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. I do not have Dijon mustard. I forgot to pick some up. So like I said, I added that to the note on the front of the bag to remember to add the mustard. And actually we have made this meal before, and I like to double the Dijon mustard. I like a little bit more of the flavor. So now I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of black pepper, approximately, in each. So this is my kind of freezer meal cooking, where it's just kind of throwing it in the bag with the seasonings. This way, though, I don't have to think about it in the morning. The morning that I want to cook it, I can just have it thawed from the night before and just throw it in. So I did put 1/2 teaspoon of salt in each bag, and now I'm putting 1/2 teaspoon of ground thyme in each bag, and then there's my little helper. Nope, I don't see you. Where are you? Where's my helper? Oh, this way a little more. There she is. There's my helper today. The other 2 are at day camp today. Oof, I think I put a little extra time in that one. See what happens when I'm talking? So now I've got kind of the sauce in here and the spices. So now I'm going to put the meat in. I didn't see a bone-in pork roast that I wanted, so I'm just using a pork loin for the roast, and then I have boneless country-style pork ribs for the rib meal. So I'm just going to open these and put them in the bag, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm using a 1.5 packages of these ribs. 1 package is not quite enough for all of us, and 2 packages is too much. So I'll save the others for a different meal. We're just going to put them in to the bag. And then the pork roast as well. Oops, this might make a little bit of a mess with the juice. Yep, good thing.
That's a good thing.
Well, it's nice and juicy. It's okay. We've got a container here to catch the juice. So I'm just...
If the juice falls, it goes into there.
Yep, you're right, Emma.
That has juice.
Emma, would you like to hold the bag open for me to put the meat in? Sometimes it's nice to have a helper, because then I don't have to get the yuck all over the bag. Just drop it in. I'm going to go...
Get your hands down.
Go wash your hands now, because that was juice from meat. Alright, I'm going to go wash my hands, and then I'm going to zip these up. All I'm going to do is press the air out of the bag, zip it up, and then it's all ready to go in the freezer. So there's meal number 1 and meal number 2. So that's so easy, takes about 5 minutes for 2 meals. So now we're going to move on. The next meal that I'm doing is barbecue chicken. I did want to do a barbecue chuck roast as well, but I did not find any chuck roast on sale this week. So I'm going to have to wait to do that. This is kind of my own invention. I've never made it before, but it sounds good. All I'm doing is putting in 2 sliced green peppers. So Emma's going to help me put that in the bag. Come on, Miss Emma. Let's put the peppers in the bag. So I did go ahead and do 2 peppers because we're trying to amp up our vegetable consumption. And now we're going to put in a 20-ounce can of pineapple chunks with the juice. Go ahead and dump that in.
All of it?
Yep, all of that. And then I have some barbecue sauce that I made that I'm going to just dump some in as well, if I can get the top off. But we're going to have to be careful that we don't make a mess of this one. Oh, thank you. So we're just going to dump some barbecue sauce in.
This is a fat. Down here is a fat part.
Now I'm going to kind of just mix that in a little bit. Excuse me. And then for the meat, I just have a pack of chicken leg quarters. So I'm going to do this part. And when you're doing these freezer meals,
This is raw meat.
Yes, it is raw meat, so I'm going to touch it. That way you don't get germs on your hand. So I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, when you're making these freezer meals, make sure and put the meat in last. That way when you dump the bag into the crock pot, the meat will go in first and go on the bottom, and the sauce and vegetables will go on top. Ooh, do you think these are big? Man, my goodness. That is a big one. I might have to cut it.
I wouldn't eat that part.
That's a little bit big, isn't it?
Yeah.
We might
Is
have.
that a leg of it?
Yep, it's got a leg and a thigh. Well, we'll see if we can
A
squeeze them
chicken
in.
leg.
Yes, this is chicken. Maybe we can squeeze it in.
We squeezed it in.
All right.
Ooh, another chicken leg.
All right, Emma, do you want to tell a story while I go wash my hands? You want to talk? You want to say hello? You say hello to the camera? Say hello, YouTube. Do you have anything? I don't think she's got anything to say today. Well, you were just talking all that. Not when the camera's looking at you. I think somebody's shy. Anyways.
I won't talk when it's looking at me.
Okay, but will you talk when it's not looking at you? Okay. So now we're just going to seal up this bag. Make sure it's all the way sealed on the top. And when I thaw these out, I make sure and put them on a pan or in a dish, so that way if it happens not to be sealed all the way, or sometimes like it gets snagged in the freezer and there's a hole in it, that way it, oops, please don't do that. That way it doesn't leak all over the refrigerator. So, Emma, please don't do that. Moving our camera around or make us dizzy. So there is another meal all ready to go. So barbecue chicken.
Now we're going to make another meal.
Now we are going to make another meal after we clean up from this one. One good thing is I try and clean up in between making the different meals so I don't have a huge mess on the table. It makes it a little bit more streamlined. I'm going to start my chicken and mushroom meals. This is another recipe that I'm adapting. It's originally a crock pot meal and then finished on the stove. I'm trying to adapt it into a freezer slow cooker meal. Or a freezer crock pot meal, whichever you want to say. So we'll see how this turns out. It turned out really good the first time, but I ended up finishing the sauce on the stove. I'm going to see if I can put everything in and then just mix in the cornstarch to thicken the sauce after it's done cooking. So I'm going to start putting that together. And we're going to start out with some chicken base. Emma, would you like to hold the bag again?
I want to put it in.
Oh, she wants to put it in. There you go. So you can put just a half a spoon.
That much?
Yep, of the chicken base. And you can scoop the next one.
That much?
It's a little bit too much. There we go. Now we're going to put that in. Alright, the next thing we're going to put in is mushrooms, and I did actually...
I want to put the mushrooms in too.
Okay. We did actually find the sliced mushrooms at Aldi's for the same price as the whole mushrooms. So we're going to put a whole package in each bag. Here, hang on, Emma. We're going to go ahead and, yeah, I'll hold the bag and you dump the whole thing of mushrooms in there.
Until it's empty?
Yes. There we go. Lots of mushrooms.
Whoa!
That's a lot of mushrooms, huh?
One more mushroom.
One more mushroom.
A
Let's move this
little
back.
one.
Maybe we can see a little bit better if I move it back, huh? Alright, next one. Let's open it up.
Open.
And Emma's going to put it in. There we go.
Oh, two more little ones for this one.
There we go. And now we're going to put some green onion. What I'm going to do is...
I thought that was lettuce.
Nope, green onion. I'm just going to use my scissors and cut it directly into my bag. Why bother with a cutting board when you got kitchen shears, right?
Yeah.
So this is a really easy way to cut green onion. We like lots of green onion as well. We like very flavorful food.
My favorite food is chocolate food.
Your favorite food is chocolate food, huh? So Emma, do you want to know what everyone else's favorite food is?
Chocolate food?
I don't know if everybody's favorite food is chocolate food. Leave a comment for Emma below whether your favorite food is chocolate food. She would like to know.
That much?
Yeah, a little bit more.
Don't want to cut your hand off.
No, I don't want to cut my hand off. Okay, and now we're going to put about a half cup of white cooking wine.
I'll hold it.
Just for a little extra flavor. And then this is where I'm changing it up from last time I made it. I did not put the evaporated milk in to the bag, but I put it in later. Oops, careful. I'm going to try it this way. I don't know if it's going to work out as well. Ready, Emma? Got it? Tip it, tip it.
I used my left pointer finger.
You used your left pointer finger. Okay, so there is the sauce. Now I'm going to grab the meat. Now we're going to go ahead and season the chicken. Now, one of the meals I'm using boneless, skinless chicken breast, and the other meal I'm using chicken leg quarters with the skin on. Just to change it up a little bit.
I wanted to do that.
Alright, sprinkle everything with pepper. Not too much. Alright, we're sprinkling with pepper. And then we're going to do salt as well. Be careful with the salt. We don't want too much salt for sure. Just a little bit on each one. Shaky, 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 shaky. And then some paprika. We shake the paprika over everything. Pretty, huh?
It looks now the meat looks pretty.
Right. And now I'm just going to rub the seasoning in and put it into the bag. I'm just going to kind of rub it on both sides, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor.
Extra flavor.
Place it in the bag. Same thing with this one. And then we'll set the bag to the side. And grab the other bag.
Now we're going to put all of that meat in.
Yep, this meat goes in this bag.
There's legs of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
2-leg chickens. 3-leg chickens. 4-leg chickens.
A chicken with 4 legs? That's awfully silly.
Yeah. That's silly. This isn't meat.
Yep, don't touch it. Alright, again, I'm going to go wash my hands. Emma, do you have anything to say this time? It's not looking at you. Do you have anything to say? No, she's shaking her head no. Alright, so now we're just going to seal the bag, and we've got another 2 meals made. Okay, now we're making 2 more barbecue sauce meals. I didn't realize how heavy we were working on the barbecue sauce until just now. But we're going to do barbecue chicken sandwiches. This is just using chicken breast, and you cook it and then shred it. Yes, and then we're going to put honey and barbecue sauce. So we're doing the chicken sandwiches, and we're doing barbecue meatballs using the meatballs I made earlier. So we're going to do the sauce again as usual. Hang on, Emma. We're going to put the barbecue sauce in first.
And then the honey?
Yes, and then the honey. So this is real simple. You can use store-bought barbecue sauce. Oh my goodness. And I just made a big mess. Oh my goodness.
Now we're putting in the honey.
Okay. Back. Hang on a minute. Let me back this up. We can't see very good. There we go. Squeeze a good amount of honey in there. I don't know, about a 1/4 cup or a 1/3 of a cup. We're pretty low key around here. Just kind of eyeball a lot of stuff. Here we go, Emma. Ready? That's heavy. There we go. Now we just need to put the meat in.
Meatballs.
So I've got the meatballs that have finished cooking in the oven.
I'm going to put in the meatballs.
Alright, we gotta be careful with them, okay?
Good.
Put these ones on the top pan.
No.
Yep, they're fragile. Don't squeeze them.
These are fragile because we can't squeeze them.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and just put them in the bag.
Oh, this one
Yep.
goes.
See, sometimes they stick. That's all right.
Sometimes.
That's why we got to be very careful picking them up. Gently. Yeah, why don't you let me get the ones that are sticking on the bottom. I'm doing about 35 meatballs in here. That will be enough for us for a dinner, and maybe if there's a little bit left over for someone's lunch the next day. So we're going to set these ones aside, and then we're just going to put
my hand smells like meatball.
Alright, why don't you go wash your hands, okay? And now we're just going to put a couple large boneless, skinless chicken breasts in the other bag. And we're going to put 3 of them in. That way we can always have leftovers. It's nice to have hot leftovers the next day or in a couple days when you need it for a quick meal. And there we go. There's 2 more meals done. Now I'm going to make a quick taco soup. I have some black beans that I had cooked and frozen a couple months ago. So I'm just going to put the whole bag in. Now I'm going to put some of the taco meat that I cooked earlier. I'm not really measuring this out. Probably, I don't know, 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of what I had cooked. So not even half of this pan. Probably 1 more scoop. So we're going to move that out of the way.
The other till we didn't hear the sirens.
Yeah, we had to wait till we didn't hear they were testing the sirens, so. Let's see, the next thing we're going to do is put in 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Here we go, Emma. Let me do the sharp part. I don't want your fingers to be cut.
That was a puddle of it.
That's okay.
That's a puddle of it.
It's okay. We made a mess, but we'll wipe it up. 1 and here. Ready for the second one?
My thumb is out diced tomato.
That's okay. Here we go. Ready? Put the second one in. I'm going to put some tomato sauce. It calls for, in the recipe I'm sort of basing it off of as 1 can. So I'm guessing that's like a 6-ounce can of tomato sauce. I don't know. I'm putting in about a cup or so. Maybe a little bit more because I did put more meat than it called for. I kind of play with this. If I need to add some more like chicken bouillon or something to make it thinner, I will when I'm cooking it. And then the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and I'll put about 1.5 cups.
It's cold.
It is cold. It's still frozen. Well, that's probably good. Put that in. And then I'm going to put some salt and pepper. And then while I'm cooking it, when it's time to cook it, I will see if it has enough spice in it and add more hot sauce or chili powder or whatever as needed. Since there was already spices in the taco meat already. So
I put my forehead on the bag.
You put your forehead on the, she put her forehead on the bag of corn and it was cold, right? Good experiment. So there we go. There is our taco soup.
It just fell right here.
Last meal I'm putting together today is Swedish meatballs. This is a really simple meal, and it does use a can of condensed soup. Just because I have not found an alternative that's quick yet. So just a can of cream of mushroom soup, and then I'm going to put a cube of beef bouillon in, a little bit of milk, and the meatballs. So I'm going to put that all together. Here are all the meals we've done today. We've got 9 freezer meals, 4 packs of taco meat, and 1 small bag of meatballs left. So not too bad for a morning's work, and it'll be nice to have in the freezer. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you in my next one. Have a great day.